Hi guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be carrying on from where we left off in the last one with episode 2. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay guys, so I've had a little look around, and I think the idea is to bring Weldrake down into Selby first, and then once we move into the train lines we'll end up getting Wrestle down. I think we are just still a little bit too early at the minute to start with trains, simply because we haven't got any that can sort of carry out the speeds that we'll need to make it profitable. So we'll start off with the Buzzdrake in the centre of Weldrake here, which covers the whole town anyway. And then all we'll need to do is the same thing in Selby, but decide here whether if we're going to be growing the town, it might be a good idea to put a full bus stop in. We might need more than one stop to actually cover the whole of the town here. So if we're going to do that, what we'll do is we'll put the bus stop on a line here that doesn't cross over with the truck lines, just so that they aren't stopping anywhere they don't need to. We'll cover the end of the city there, and then we'll come down and cover this end here, and this should be okay, flowing on the way out of the city. So if we do a line that goes from the main bus stop here, just around the town, and then we want it to go all the way up to Weldrake. Then from Weldrake, we want it to go back to Selby Transfer. Perfect. So we're going to call that RP for road passenger. That is Selby to Weldrake. The pink's throwing me off a little bit, so I'm going to change that to nice yellow. There we go. And then we should be able to use the same vehicle depot. Passengers, obviously, this time the stagecoach. These do only do 11 mile an hour. That is the same as the cargo ones, so they won't be holding each other up, which is always a bonus. I'm going to start for 2 for now, and just sort of let it get bedded in there. And have a look at how else we can improve this line. I think the next thing to do would be to start branching out and having a look for a different kind of industry. Now, I did see one that looks interesting down here at Hull. You can see that Hull requires fuel, and there's a refinery just across the river here. There's the oil refinery here and the fuel refinery this side, but crude oil is all over here. So I think once we get the first train upgrade, so we can carry a bit more and go a bit faster, I think what I want to do is put a train line in from the crude here all the way down to here, either this side of the river and then put boats across, and then boats to the fuel and drop it at Hull, or a train line all the way through to here, and then just the boats. Might be worth just bridging over. We're not going to need this end of the river, I wouldn't have thought, and if we do at a much later date, we can always build a bridge when we've got a lot more money. I think that would be a good one to get fuel into the map, because there's quite a few towns that do actually want fuel. So it'd be a good one to get going early. I mean, the other option we have is to send a train with food on that we're already making here up to, say, Market Waiting, and then bring the train back with some more grain on. Well, because the carriages hold different things in this game, it might be a rough one to work with. But we'll see what happens and go from there. So at the moment, we can see the passengers starting to come out. So we've got three people waiting already here. The bus is here, there's no one. Oh, the second bus here has got 2 people on it. You can see. We'll just crank the time up, because we do want to get moving. I might just set the date speed as well to 2 times, just so we can start getting the trains and moving on a little bit further. I do like to spend some time going through the earlier time periods, but when you're this far back with just the horse and cart and the base trains, it's really hard to just sort of get moving and get going. I think what we should also look at here is getting a country road here, and if we can connect up to York, we could even get another bus line set up from in York. York's already quite a big town, as you can see, but I mean, I am going to come here and put in a train line. It's going to take a hell of a long time for them to get all the way down here. So again, we'll just start at Selby at first for this one. We'll come up, we'll go through that bus stop, into the main transfer, back out through the bus stop. And then we'll call that one RP again for road passenger. And this is Selby, York. And it keeps trying to give me this pink line, but it just doesn't sit well with my eyes. And again, I might just start this one with 4 if we have the money for it. We don't, so what I'll do is I'll stick 2 on again and let the demand start building. Hopefully, what that will do is down in Selby here. You see the connections here now, we're getting 20% for the transport links, 40% for the food, and it's really start growing. And as that grows, as I said in the last video, all that'll do is increase the amount of goods that they require, and then indirectly, obviously, that'll increase the amount of money we make from our lines. So you know, there's 32 people waiting to go to Weldrake, so I think we need at least another one. By the time they settle out, they might need a lot more on there. We do need to sort of start moving a bit more food here as well. So again, we'll go for another 2. Those on the food delivery line. And then in this episode, really, guys, it's just going to be a little bit about starting that growth for the cities and waiting for the better technology and the better trains to come through so we can start really making some money. I think I'm hoping to, by the end of this video, be ready to put in our first train line at the start of the next one. So make sure you tune in for that one and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, just so we can let you know when the next one comes out and hopefully we can get into trains. The autosave feature in this game is something that it can save you sometimes, but I've never been unfortunate enough to have the game crash and lose it, but it does seem to autosave sort of every 10 minutes or so. Might be something I have to look at changing because it can get a little bit annoying sometimes. There you go. Just try and help Weldrake grow here. And there's 29 people waiting. This end as well, we might need to put some serious vehicles in here. I mean, if we have a look at that line now, we've got 3. What I'm trying to avoid is taking out a loan to pay for carriages, because the money is constantly rolling in. It's just a case of us being a little bit patient, I think. But what I'll do, guys, is I'll stick a cut in here and come back to you when we've made a bit more money and the lines seem to have settled down a bit. I might just throw a few more vehicles in off camera, and then we'll see what else we can do at that point. Okay, guys, so I've just jumped ahead a little bit. I've been adding a few vehicles to the lines. You can see here the Selby grain line has now got almost 30 odd vehicles on it. I've added 3 more to the delivery into Selby for the food, so hopefully that'll keep picking up. The passenger lines I haven't added any to yet because they just seem to be taking so long to get anywhere. But by the time they make a profit, if you can find one for you here, you see the Selby Weldrake here, the finances are very minimal. So I've decided to sort of save the money instead and start looking into maybe laying the first train line that we're after ready for when that upgrade does come. So we're going to keep this ticking over down here while we have a look at building the line I was talking about up here. I'm just not sure whether to do the train down to the shore and then a boat across, or whether to put the train line straight here. I think for now I am just going to go with the train line, but we're going to have to put it far enough back that we can get to the bridge. But I just do want to make sure that this will connect, and it will class as it's see how that doesn't connect to there. But what we can usually do is put a side street connection on. And if we can connect that, Like so. There we go. Now we are fully connected. So while we're earning money in the background, I want to skirt around the outside of the town of Heddon here. I missed that completely. Bridge pillar. See, so we are going to have to borrow some of that money, which I don't mind doing because we always would have had to do that anyway. But we're just sort of laying the foundations. 56, that's all we can take at the minute, so 433. It's not too bad. Now, luckily it's pretty flat here, so it should be fairly cheap to build. With it being Yorkshire, I'm surprised, to be honest, that there isn't a few more sort of hills and dales, if you like, but there just doesn't seem to be many, so we'll place that there, and it looks like we do get connection to 2 oil wells there, which is really good. And then if we just put that in, what's that do? Yeah, see, that's not bad at all. We'll take that. And then all I'm going to need now, or 4 now, is a depot. I'm just going to go with 1 train at the moment, so I won't get into signalling and things just yet. So if I repay that down now, so that will be the line that we want to use. It'll take crude all the way down. So here it'll turn that into oil, and then what I will do then is I have to make a shipping route to go with the rest of it. So if we have a look at that, we are going to want to go large just to future-proof it really. Again, it's going to be a lot of money here, but this should make us an absolute fortune once it's done. And then again, we need to make sure that we're connected up to the industries, otherwise it won't let us do what we want to do. So we've got that one there. I wonder if this one will just connect straight. Oh, you beauty. Yes, there we go. So luckily that one's letting us join straight into there. And then we just need one for Hull now. If I use the filter here, and the cargo box, if you like, I can see the fuels needed around this side of Hull. So I want to try and build my seaport down here, and I wonder if again it will connect straight to the road there. It will. So I'll put that in there, and it looks like that already covers a lot of the industry. We might have to up that to include a little bit more eventually, but for now that's actually looking pretty good. Then we also are going to need the actual shipyard so we can buy the ships. And that is pretty much, guys, that is the oil line set up. Now, what I don't want to do is start it with what we have at the minute, which is just this basic D13. It can only do 25 mile an hour. The carts can do 31 mile an hour. Now, if we wait for a little while, we actually unlock the next train. I can't remember the year, but it's not too far away now. We can get the train on the track, and it will just pull so much more and make us so much more money that it's just not worth doing that. So I'll repay this loan down just to save us the interest money. We'll go and check in again over here now. It's been running for a little while. It hasn't been running, actually. It was on pause. Brilliant. But hopefully the date will take over soon and we can look at getting all that new system up and running. Just wondering whether we are able to just squeeze a couple more grain carts on here, but as soon as one's leaving, we've already got carts are just not waiting, which is the perfect timing really. What I don't want to do is start causing traffic and affecting the other. We can afford to get another couple of carts on the Selby line, by the look of it, so we'll get 2 of those. I'll look at the line finances. So, no shock, the biggest earners are the 2 food lines. The grain one's making an absolute killing because, don't forget, that is bringing some product back the other way as well. So it's not completely empty one way, whereas the food delivery line is full one way and empty the other way. Selby York, we might have to just put a couple more on that. It's not making any great deal of money, but it won't do with that few carts. And then look here, Wildrick's still got 40. How many people in New York looking to go to Wildrick? 74. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to probably double that. As long as it's making money, it's not so much of an issue. You can see Selby now, 265 residents. And there it is, guys, the Bourse. It got to 28 miles an hour. I thought it was 31. It's the passenger car comes along with it, it's 31. So what we'll do is we'll get into that one in the next episode, and we'll start moving all the oil down into Hull, and then from there we can sort of branch out with passenger lines, a lot more industry, and it should get a lot more interesting and a lot more complicated from that point. So thanks a lot for joining me again today, guys. If you are enjoying the series, please hit a like, hit the subscribe button so you know when the next episode comes out. And if you have any ideas of any other areas we could look into this, if you've seen anything on the map I haven't, it'd be a good way of making money, please just let me know. After this, I'm going to do a modded series on a standard European map, so any good mods that you know of, please let me know, and I will look into them and get them downloaded. So thanks a lot, guys, and see you in the next one.